It's another day of classroom setup, and today I'm going to be working on organizing the library books, setting up a few things on the Pea Shelf, trying to get my practical life shelf cleaned off, and then maybe also setting up the science area. Here I am cleaning up a shelf, but I just wanted to say that if you aren't already in my free resource hub, I know there's 150 people in it already, Montessorians, and I wanted to have just a shout out here so that you would know that it's there in the link. There's my favorite work plan that I've ever created, math cards, editing sentences for all of the days, first, second, and third grade, and journal cards, lots of different things, so check it out down below. Clean up the practical life shelf, and this is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to have, usually lower elementary Montessoris don't have a practical life shelf, but now that I've taught Montessori lower elementary for multiple years, and I have a good system down for math and language and cultural. I wanted to focus on like the extra stuff of Montessori. It's not extra stuff, it's included with it. It's just, did I pay that much attention to it? Did I do it to the best of my ability before this year? I did as much as I could, and we did it as like practical life whole groups, but this year I want to do a practical life shelf. So I have 9 different sections the kids are going to have an option to do each month. So one's going to be like daily life, so like tying shoes, different like addressing a letter, different things like that, and then another one is going to be healthy body, so they'll learn different types of exercise movements because there's nothing more practical life than that. And then the next one's going to be healthy mind, so I'm thinking about putting brain teasers or maybe ways like breathing techniques, different things like that. And then one's going to be music, one is going to be Spanish, and then I also have a follow directions. Now that could be like just you get a list of directions and you have to follow them, and if the student can't read, then maybe an adult will read the direction to them and they have to follow that. So then their end result is something like maybe a picture they had to draw, or create something in the kitchen, like layer the bread, and then so they don't know what the end result might be, but they have to follow the directions in order to find the results. And then I'm also doing a hand-eye coordination, and those I have so far are badminton, juggling, maybe even hitting a golf ball, but in like the outside, but not a golf ball, but like a foam ball, but just practicing that, like the swing, different practical life things. And I have 2 more, I said Spanish and music, and there's 2 more categories because I know I have 9 categories in total, I believe. So once I see them, then they'll be up there, but I just wanted to get it clean so when I have those labels and everything, it'll just be able to be put on there. Okay, so this is going to be the science shelf. I reorganized it, so this table is just going to be pushed up against there because at the bottom is just our solar ovens and extra pizza boxes. And then there's some extra science supplies that sometimes we use and sometimes we don't. And then on this shelf is going to be whatever materials are needed for the weekly science project. So for this year, I'm going to have a weekly science project for them to complete and to follow directions. Now, if it's like a whole group thing and then they could practice after, or I'm going to try, even if it's a whole group, I'm still going to try to have like one a week where they can just practice and do it. I know some on their own. I know some I'll use some of the Montessori ones and then just find some other science experiments. And then I just have some science cards and a little video scope set that the box I think is just going to stay right behind it. So that will be good. So it'll be pushed just like this. Maybe leave that there if I don't find another spot. Okay, here's a little bit of the setup of a Pea Shelf. A student's family gave me that picture, and then I actually made that one in an art class. It's no te rindas, which means don't give up. in Spanish, and then it has, I put the grammar symbols all over it because we all know I love the grammar symbols, and then just the peace rose if they need it, an owl, and then the emotions. I think what I'm going to do is feature an emotion every week, so the kids like them. The first year I had them, I let them put them by their work areas, and it worked out nicely. The next year it didn't work out nicely, so what I think it's going to be is that you can see them at the like at the peace table. If you need a second to say, well, I'm feeling angry or calm, or I'm just super happy, or I don't know what I'm feeling. But so I think I'm going to start with peace and get the peace book of them from the library and read it, and just have a little card that talks about peace. And then just a small activity, I put the sand. I used to have these pieces that they loved that they started to play with at recess, but then they would come here and play, so I'm not putting pieces out here. But I would just leave the sand for a little while, just so they, if they need to come sit and relax, they have something to do. I might add a few things, but it will probably stay like this. And then of course it has a little cushion for them to sit on. Also, while I was here, I got my first student organization for their portfolio ready. So this is their work plan, and then I have their editing sheet. They're going to have a math fact sheet in here too, but here's their math equations sheet, and then right underneath that will be the math facts, and then their maps. So this is the second grade one, and then we have math and language. Now if a student, most of my students are returning, and I believe they can just start on those, but if they need to start on a counting map or a words map, that's fine too. I'll just switch it out. But this is all, this work plan and the editing for every single week of school for first, second, and third grade are all in my free hub if you want to sign up for that. And then I could put this in too. It was just a simple thing. I could put that in the free hub. And then the maps are a pay-for product, but it gives you the whole scope and sequence, keyword sequence, not just a scope, but you do get my scope and sequence, and all math maps, plus if you want individual math maps for time, money measurement, numeration, geometry, graphs, word problems, and extra concepts, and then all the language ones for writing, grammar, and word study. They're all down below. I have a video talking about how I keep this all organized, but I went ahead and printed them for the first week of school. Now I do have phase-in days, and I will do those, but this was the example from my last video that I did about the student organizations, but they all just go here and line up, and then overflow also goes into there. And then also this year I'm going to have end of the year little 3-ring folders, and so at the end of every day, or not end of the year, end of the day journal, so they'll write a sentence about what their day was. Maybe my favorite thing today was, or I was successful in, or just any thought they have, and they can draw a picture. So I got those all printed, and once we get our supplies in, I'll put them in there.